Only on 4 tonight, 2 St. Louis City Sheriff's deputies fired for working security for Congresswoman Cori Bush.
But now one is defending himself, and he tells News 4 investigator Lauren Traeger the firing is unfair.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that.
Last week, Congresswoman Cori Bush defended her use of private security. Recent federal filings show she spent tens of thousands of dollars in campaign funds since taking office for security services.
It was absolutely disgusting.
Back in April, the Congresswoman, along with St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones and other notables, took a tour of the city's jails. News 4 obtained the surveillance video from those tours. Along with all the others were 2 security guards hired to protect Congresswoman Bush, Thailance Jackson and Maurice Thompson. Also there, St. Louis Sheriff Vernon Betts, who recently told News 4 he was surprised to see the 2 security guards because they also worked for him. The sheriff telling News 4 Jackson and Thompson violated policy by not getting approval to work a secondary shift as security guards. The sheriff says the 2 were warned not to do it again, but several weeks later, he says his office was called by the VA police at Jefferson Barracks, who said the 2 men were again providing security for the Congresswoman. The sheriff says he was concerned neither Jackson nor Thompson have current individual private security licenses to work in the city or the county, a fact News 4 has verified. Given the multiple violations of rules, the sheriff told News 4 he fired the 2 deputies.
I do feel that the hand that was dealt to us was unfair and unjust.
But reached by phone, Thailance Jackson told me their firing wasn't right.
You let us go, but you still have a plethora of individuals doing that, but you don't say anything.
He believes the sheriff had another motive instead.
Because of the client that we worked for, and that we didn't help push the agenda of the sheriff's department on a client.
And when it comes to licenses, he says he didn't need one.
You do not need a security license to do executive protection, because basically it's like, if I hire you to protect me, I'm paying you out of pocket to protect me. You don't need a license for that.
St. Louis police do tell us their licenses cover contracted properties, but personal protection is not covered by their licensing process. Jackson told us, though they no longer work for them, they had been hired by a company called RSAT Security. In her filings, Bush reportedly paid a company called RS&T Security Consulting. According to public records, the companies are affiliated, sharing an address in New York City. We reached out to the Congresswoman's office to ask a number of questions. A campaign staff person sent a statement saying, quote, "Due to a nonstop barrage of death threats and targeted harassment of Congresswoman Cori Bush for Congress has retained security services with appropriately licensed and credentialed firms. Security personnel matters are handled by the specific firms retained." Still, some, like Missouri's Attorney General, have continued to criticize the Congresswoman for using private security at all.
It's the height of hypocrisy. It's incredibly reckless for Representative Bush to have her own private security and tells everybody else to suck it up as she seeks to defund the police.
The sheriff adamantly denies Jackson's claims, calling him a, quote, damn liar. We talked with Thompson briefly, but he declined to be interviewed for comment, only saying he, too, felt it could have been handled differently. We also reached out to leaders at RSAT Security and RS&T Security, but did not hear back. It's certainly a situation we'll keep tracking. I'm Lauren Traeger, News 4 Investigates.